Hello students. So let us continue with the topic of unit and dimension. So on continuation with the previous concepts that we have studied, let us start it with a numerical. So this is our lecture 3 of unit and dimension. So let me write down the question. The question says that the position of a particle in a specific rectilinear motion, in a specific for doing this question, you do not have to know that what is a rectilinear motion and what are the equations unknown. We have to solve all the questions relating to the concept that we have studied in the dimensional analysis. The position of a particular specific in a specific rectilinear motion. Rectilinear means straight line actually. Rectilinear motion is given by an equation where x is written as x as a function of time, that doesn't matter. It's equal to v naught by beta into 1 minus e to the power minus beta t, where b and beta naught, b naught and beta are some physical quantity that are not known to us. Some physical quantity not known to us. Right? We have to find out what is the dimension of v naught beta. What is the dimension of v naught and beta? Let's start it. X is the position. X is the position. Position is a length, right? So if I am going to write it down that x is equal to, I'm just removing it is a function of time. That means that this is depending on time. So we can write it as v naught by beta minus v naught by beta e to the power minus beta t. In the last class, what we have studied, anything that is written in the power like exponential power or any numbers power, it is dimensionless. So we can directly say that the dimension of beta t is m0, l0, t0. So directly we can write down the dimension of beta should be equal to this dimension divided by t. So we can write it should be t to the power minus 1. So we got the dimension of beta, that is t to the power minus 1. Similarly, yesterday, in the last class, we also studied one more property, that two or more physical quantities can be added or subtracted if and only if they have same dimension. So we can say that dimension of x, we can also write it down, x minus b naught by beta plus b naught by beta e to the power minus bt. So we can write the dimension of x must be equal to the dimension of v naught by beta. So similarly, as we have found out the dimension of beta, you can cross multiply it to find out the dimension of v naught, which is dimension of x and dimension of beta. Dimension of x is L and dimension of beta is t to the power minus 1. So we can write it out as Lt to the power minus 1. So we got the value of b naught and Lt to the power minus 1. Now the required result we have to find out, that is the dimension of b naught into b. So we can find it out. V naught multiplied with B can be written as dimension of V naught is LT to the power minus 1 into T to the power minus 1. So final answer is L T to the power minus 2. So this is the answer to our question. Let's move to the next question. Next question says that, next question is an application actually. The next application of dimensional analysis is to check the dimensional formula, to check the dimensional correctness of any equation. Dimensional correctness of any equation. We'll be solving 3 equations and we'll check that how to check the dimensional correctness of any equation. Let us start with the first example of our question. The equation gives that f is the frequency, I will recall everything to you. 1 by 2L square root of f by m, where f is the frequency. As you know that in your junior classes, when we are studying about the wave, you probably have studied that it is the number of oscillations that is taking place in 1 unit second is called as frequency, which is nothing but it is equal to 1 by time period. We are checking the dimensional correctness of this equation. So this is the left hand side of the equation and this is the right hand side of the equation. An equation is dimensionally correct if and only if the left hand side should be equal to the right hand side. So we have to find out the dimension of the left hand side, that is t to the power minus 1, because 1 by t equal to t to the power minus 1. If we are going to analyze the right hand side of the equation, it is 1 by 2L square root of force by mass. 1 by 2L, we can directly write down 2 is not needed. It is only L square root of force. Force has a dimension of mL2 t to the power minus 2. Hope everyone has revised it in the last class. M and M are gone. Square root of L square t to the power minus 2. It is again 1 by L into L to the power 1 t to the power minus 1. So this and this are gone. Clear? This and this are gone. So what we are going to get here? Sorry, I just made a mistake over here. It is L actually. It is L. So it is L to the power 1 by 2. Sorry. So here we are going to write it as L to the power 1 by 2 minus 1 t to the power minus 1. So here we are going to get it as L to the power minus 1 by 2 t to the power minus 1. Right? So this is dimensionally incorrect. Why? The left hand side has a dimension of t to the power minus 1, but while the right hand side is having a dimension of L to the power minus 1 by 2 t to the power minus 1. So which is dimensionally incorrect. So let's move to the second example of it. I'm taking another question. Question says that same y is equal to a sine vt. As you'll go to the other chapters, we can understand that what is the meaning of it. While y is a position actually, y is position. So what is the dimension of a position? It is L. A is amplitude. You have studied about the wave, right? In sound wave and many kind of waves you have studied probably. So this is the amplitude. It is the maximum displacement in both the direction of the wave is called as amplitude. It is nothing but it is a distance. So A has a dimension of L. Coming to the fact that Vt, you know that anything that is in the argument of a trigonometric function must have no dimension. It should not have no dimension or it should be dimensionless. Let's check that whether it is dimensionless or not. Vt should be dimensionless. But what is the dimension of Vt? B has a dimension of V is the speed or the velocity. I'm writing here it is velocity. So it is Lt to the power minus 1 and t. So here it is not dimensionless, it has dimension. So simply we can say that as it has no, it is not dimensionless. So we can say that as it is not dimensionless, so in that case we can say that it is also dimensionally incorrect. Dimensionally incorrect. So this equation is also dimensionally incorrect. Let's move to the next question. So the last two equations were dimensionally incorrect. Let's check with the next one. X is equal to a plus bt plus ct square. I can also write it as x minus a minus bt minus ct square should be equal to 0. So that means the dimension of this should be equal to the dimension of this, should be equal to the dimension of this, should be equal to the dimension of it. We have to check the dimensional correctness, right? So dimension of x is length that is given over here and t is the time. X is length, t is time, a, b and c are some constant. We don't know these constants, right? Okay. Okay, so let me change the question a little bit here. The question says that find out the dimension of A, B and C as well as their units and their units. I'll keep that correctness question after this. Dimension of X should be equal to the dimension of A. So from this we got the dimension of A is equal to L. Dimension of X must be equal to the dimension of BT. It says that the dimension of B is equal to X by T. X is L and this is T to the power minus 1. Similarly, coming to the dimension of CT square, as we know that CT square can be written as dimension of X or equal to X. So dimension of C is equal to dimension of X by T square, which is going to give you LT to the power minus 2. LT to the power minus 2. So we can directly write down the units of all this. Unit of A is meter. Unit of A is meter. Unit of B is meter per second. For L I am writing meter and for T it is second. So similarly here it is meter per second square. I am writing it in the SI system of unit actually. Right. So this is the way that how we should deal with the questions. Okay. I am writing down one more question. Equation is V is speed that is given as TL by M while T is the tension. What is the meaning of tension? Let's take an example. This is a string that is hanging. If it is hanging, so nothing is there actually. When you pull it with some force, you know that due to some intermolecular interaction that is there in the after 2 chapters we are going to study it, right? So when we are going to pull it, here some tension is going to be developed. It is nothing but it is a kind of force. It is a kind of force. We don't have to get into the mechanics of all these things. So kind of force. If it is a kind of force, its dimension must be mLt to the power minus 2. L is the length whose dimension is L. M is the mass whose dimension is capital M. And V is the speed. Actually, we want to check the dimensional correctness of the equation. So if I'll write down the dimension of the speed, so it is going to be LT to the power minus 1. Coming to the dimension of the right hand side, let me check it. For tension, I'm going to write mLT to the power minus 2. For length, it is L. For mass, it is M. So M and M are gone. So square root of L square T to the power minus 2 is going to be L T to the power minus 1. Yes, this equation is dimensionally correct. This equation is dimensionally correct. Clear? So this is the way how we should check the dimensional correctness of the equation. Okay. So let's do one more very important question, and this question has been asked in many of the competitive examination multiple times. So let's check it. In chemistry, probably you have studied about an equation that is called as van der Waals equation of gas. Question says that van der Waals equation of gas equation, I'm going to write equation like this. Equation of gas is given as principle of homogeneity is one of the most widely used things that we use in unit and in dimensional analysis. P is for pressure plus A by V square. A is a constant. V is the volume that I will write down one by one. V minus B equal to RT. Let me define all these things. P is pressure. A and B are some constant. Capital R is called as gas constant. Capital T is the temperature. We don't have to go over there actually. Then V is the volume. Question is that we are required to find out the dimension of A and what is the dimension of B, because other things dimension we can easily find out. Right. So let's find it out. What is the dimension of A and B? Same. If I say that, see, if I'm going to write down the principle of homogeneity, can you see that pressure is added with A by B square. So the dimension of pressure must be equal to the dimension of A by B square. So I'm going to use principle of homogeneity. Principle of homogeneity says that the two physical quantity can only be added or subtracted if they have same dimension. So we can write down the pressure, dimension of pressure must be equal to the dimension of A by B square. So from this, we are aware about the dimension of pressure and we are aware about the dimension of volume. So we can write P and B square should be equal to the dimension of A. So let me write down the dimension of pressure. Pressure is force by area. In the last class, I told you pressure is equal to force upon area. So the dimension of force, I'm writing it directly, you can also write, but I'm writing it like this. ml t to the power minus 2 is for force, and for area it is L square. Volume is length into breadth into height, which is L to the power 3 square is equal to A. In the next step, I can write A is equal to C. Some of the things are getting cancelled out. This L and this L is gone, and this one is going to become L to the power 6. So we are going to get M L to the power 6 minus 1 T to the power minus 2. So finally we got the constant has a dimension of M L to the power 5 T to the power minus 2. Similarly, coming to the finding out the dimension of B, I can write the dimension of volume is nothing but it is equal to the dimension of B, which is equal to L to the power 3. So we got both the answers now. Let's come to the next application of dimensional analysis. That is establishing a relationship between different physical quantity. Establishing a relationship between different physical quantity. Let me start it with a very basic relationship that everybody knows this, right? When you are in class 8th, probably you probably have studied about what is the equation of force. Okay. I mean, there are, when you go to higher classes in class 11th, we will be studying about different relationship. But for a layman or a very small, junior class student, force is equal to mass into acceleration. Let us derive that relationship first, then we will go to the other relationship. Establishing a relationship between the different physical quantities. Different physical quantities, right? So let me start with so here we are finding out the relationship between the, we say question comes like this: force on a body. Let's take an example. You don't know this relationship that force is equal to mass into acceleration. We will be deriving this relationship by dimensional analysis. We will be deriving this relationship by dimensional analysis. Force on a body depends on mass m and acceleration a. So how to do it? So we say that we don't know what is the power of it. Let it be, we don't know what is the power of it. So force is, let's say, force is proportional to x power of m and y power of a. So we can write it down like force is equal to a constant, let it be k, m to the power x and a to the power a. So let me write down the dimension of force, that is m L t to the power minus 2 is equal to k. And what is the dimension of mass? It is m to the power x. Dimension of acceleration is L t to the power minus 2. to the power y. So in the next step, I'm just missing it out and let's take it as 1. So it is going to be mx and L to the power, what is the L to the power y? Because here it is y, 1, t to the power minus 2y. So now what is the next step? Compare the powers of mass, length and time with each other, left hand side and right hand side. In the next step, we have to write x is equal to 1 because in the right hand side, power of mass is x and in the left hand side it is 1. So I can write x to the power 1, x is equal to 1. Here similarly, I can write y is equal to 1, minus 2y is equal to minus 2. So from here also I am getting the value of y is equal to 1. So I got the value of x and y to be 1 and 1. So my equation will become k m to the power 1 a to the power 1. So the final equation is, if I take the k value equal to 1, so we can write F is equal to mass into acceleration. So this is the way how we can find out the relationship between different physical quantities by using dimensional analysis. Okay. So let's do one more question. Let's find out the time period of a simple pendulum. The question says that time period of a simple pendulum capital T, time period capital T of a simple pendulum depends on mass of the bob of the pendulum, length of the string, that will be L, and acceleration due to gravity. Acceleration due to gravity is an acceleration only, its dimension is equal to the dimension of acceleration. Acceleration due to gravity, that is g. We have to find out the express for its oscillation, express for its oscillating period, express t or the time period. Let's find it out in terms of all this physical quantity. So how to do this? Time period t is proportional to mass to the power x. It is directly proportional to L to the power y and g to the power z. We don't know that what are the values of x, y and z, right? So we can write down, we can combine it to be mx, ly and gz. So let's write down what is the dimension of time period. It is capital T. Is proportional to dimension of mass is m to the power x. Dimension of length is L to the power y. And dimension of g is Lt to the power minus 2 because this is an acceleration. Acceleration has a dimension of Lt to the power minus 2 to the power z. In the next step, same page I'm writing here. We can combine all these things, the right hand side, and can write it down like left hand side is t. Let's keep it as it is, equal to any constant k, m to the power x, L to the power y, here it is y, plus L to the power z, t to the power minus 2z, t to the power minus 2z. Let's write it down. And when I write more clearly the left hand side, we can write m to the power 0, L0, t to the power 1. It should be equal to k, m to the power x, L to the power y plus z and t to the power minus 2z. So let us compare the values. Here we can clearly see that x is equal to 0 because in the left hand side it is 0. Similarly, y plus z. Y plus z is also equal to 0. So it says that y is equal to minus of z. Minus 2z is equal to 1 plus 1. So from this we got z is equal to minus 1 by 2. Z is equal to minus 1 by 2. If z equal to minus 1 by 2, so we can write down y is equal to plus 1 by 2, right? So now let us bring the relationship here. I'm going to put it in a box over here in a different pen, right? So the time period can be written as any constant k, and this constant is usually an experimental value. I will tell you what is the value of it. Is directly proportional to m to the power 0. Now it is independent of the mass. If x is equal to 0, it is independent of mass. That means mass will not be displaced in the expression. Independent of mass is equal to k. How it is proportional to y? To the power 1 by 2. G to the power minus 1 by 2. So if I want to express that, is not it going to be L divided by G? Is not is going to be L divided by G, right? And you know, this is going to be a very famous formula, and this K is going to be 2 pi square root of, this is an experimental value. It will be given to you in the question, or otherwise you can leave it, right? In this topic, divided by L by G. So this is the answer to the question. This is the answer to the question. Similarly, let's do one more question. This question says, velocity of water wave. You just mark the things that I am saying. Only you mark the physical quantity. You don't get into the mechanism of all these things, because with time we have to study all these things one by one. Velocity of water wave. Physical quantity here is velocity. Of course, it is not water wave. Depends on wavelength. And you know that wavelength is a length actually. Wavelength is lambda. So its dimension is equal to length. Wavelength, density of water. That doesn't matter ki whose density. Density means mass by volume. Density of water. So we can easily find out its dimension as well. Density of water and acceleration due to gravity. And acceleration due to gravity. That is small g. We have to velocity is v. We have to find out the expression of v in terms of lambda, rho and g. How does it depend on these factors? If this depends on these three factors, so how does they are depending on each other? V is directly proportional to, let me use one more color up pen. V is directly proportional to lambda to the power a, rho to the power b, g to the power c, or x, y, z. I'm writing here ABC, you can write it here as AB. Left hand side is LT to the power minus 1, because the dimension of velocity is LT to the power minus 1 is equal to any constant k. Dimension of lambda is L to the power A. Density, you know that density is equal to mass by volume. Mass is m, volume is L to the power 3. So density has a dimension of m L to the power minus 3. So it is m L to the power minus 3 to the power b. Acceleration due to gravity, just now we studied, it is Lt to the power minus 2 to the power c. We can write it as k m to the power b, L to the power a minus 3b. Minus 3b is coming from the second one, and plus c. Similarly, t. This one is not having any t, this is not having any t, and here only we have t, that is minus 2c. Left hand side, we can write it with an expression of m to the power 0, L to the power 1, t to the power minus 1. Right? Now let us compare it. Let us compare it. We can write, I'm comparing it here. We can write b to the power, b is equal to 0. B is equal to 0. B is equal to 0. It says that it is independent of rho. It is independent of rho. Because whose power was b? Rho's power was b. So it says that it is independent of rho. It is not mandatory that, it is not compulsory that it has to be independent for some physical quantity. It is independent of density. Okay, fine. So let's move to the other parts. For length, it is a minus 3b plus c is equal to, left hand side it is 1. Already we have got the value of b equal to 0. So we can write A plus C equal to 1. Okay, let's keep it as it is. It is my equation 2. Right. You'll get confused. So let me write down A plus C should be equal to 1. Now we'll come to the third part of it. Minus 2C. Minus 2C equal to minus 1. It says that C is equal to minus minus gone. It is C equal to 1 by 2. We got the value of C equal to 1 by 2. So let's put it in this equation. A equal to 1 minus C, that is 1 by 2. So we got A equal to 1 by 2, B is equal to 0, C equal to 1 by 2. So what is our expression? B is equal to K lambda to the power 1 by 2, rho to the power B, B means 0, it is independent, G to the power C, C is 1 by 2. So simply we can write it is equal to K square root of lambda G. So this is the way how we can relate different physical quantities if we know their dependency, right? Okay, so this is one of the very important observation. So let's do I'm doing one thing. I'm going to put one more question, 2 questions as your homework at the end of this sheet, and you please let me know your answers. If you have doubt, then you please, if you have any doubt, then you please comment in the box, or you can simply write down your answers in the comment box of this video. Question number 1 says that force F, time t, and velocity v are taken as fundamental quantities, what will be the, if these are taken as the fundamental quantities, then what will be the formula for work? Formula for work. Do you know what is the meaning of it? That means work depends on F, T and V. But how does it depend? How they are related? What should be the power of force? What should be the power of time? And what should be the power of velocity? That we need to find out. Second question tells you that express mass. If mass is expressed in terms of energy, capital E, acceleration, capital A, and length. So everyone is required to do these 2 questions, and please give your comment on this below this video. So thank you. See you in the next class with a new session. Thank you everyone.